I knit in the Continental style, and I do my purls in the Norwegian method. So I wanted to just share a close-up of how I do my knits and how I do my purls, because occasionally I do get questions about those. And even though this is the style I've been taught to knit, and maybe roughly half of the people that I know who knit here in Finland knit the same way as I do, so I never see it as something different. But people from elsewhere in Europe and the US, elsewhere in the world, sometimes do stop and ask me how I'm doing what I'm doing. So I just wanted to give you a short look. So this is my recent swatch, and it does have lace as well. And I've cast on the project that I'm working on with that, and I'm in a bit where I just do stockinette stitch. So I'm going to use this one to show you how I knit while I knit. A knit stitch, I hold my yarn over my index finger, and then I kind of keep the tension on it by squeezing it with the middle finger, and then it just rests under my other fingers and my knitting. And then I just do a knit stitch like that. So insert the needle through the stitch and then just grab it from between my finger and the needle. So it's a very small motion that I do. I lift my fingers a bit upwards and then I knit. That's very, very small. And I kind of, since I'm not gripping it too tightly, it just kind of flows. And I very rarely have to kind of stop and get more yarn. I just let it flow when I knit the stitch, and then I squeeze it back in. So it's very small movements with the fingers in my left hand. And that way I'm able to knit quite fast. Let's do this row, and then I show you how I purl. You can see that's the thread goes through all my fingers, and the end comes out from under the pinky finger. And there, I've knit the row. I'm doing 3 knit stitches in the beginning here, so let's go through those. And now we get to the purl stitches. To purl, I keep the left hand fingers and the yarn in the exact same position that I did when I was knitting. So nothing changes in the left hand. But with the right hand, I now first go under the needle, or I first go under the working yarn and then insert my needle tip in the stitch. Then I twist upwards and grab the yarn again. Twist again and pull it through, and that gives me a purl stitch. So under the yarn and into the needle, then twisting it upwards and grabbing, kind of doing a yarn over, but I'm doing it with the needle and not by lifting this hand. Just grabbing it there and bringing it back and through the stitch. For the purl stitches, I do the majority of the movement with my left hand, and this is where some people find it confusing because I really do twist it a lot, so it's a lot of movement. And to be honest, when I'm knitting a lot and have to purl a lot, it does hurt my right hand. If I'm knitting too much, I do get pains in the wrist and the hands from the repeated purl stitch movements, because it is kind of an extra move. I have to do extra movements with my right hand compared to some of the other knitting styles, but my left hand, there's again very minimal movement. It's similar than the when I do the net stitch. So the yarn stays in exactly the same position. And this is great when you're doing, say, ribbing, because it's just the same. I just do the different movements with my right hand, but the yarn and everything stays in the same position, so it goes very quickly as well. So I do my purls. It does take a bit more time than knitting. I would say maybe twice, because I do have to do the movement, kind of the extra movements here. So I think in the space of one purl stitch, I could do 2 knit stitches. I'm going to show you it in slow motion one more time. So under and through, twisting this needle up, grabbing the tip and pulling it through. And then I've got 3 stitches left, so now I'm going to knit these for this design. This will be the back piece of a summer top. And over time, I've clearly been able to kind of do my knits and purls evenly, so the stitch, you can't really tell from the rows which one is a knit row and which one is a purl row. So I hope that clarified what Norwegian knitting and purling is, or continental knitting and Norwegian purling is. There are various ways that people do the same thing, the knit and the purl stitch, and that just always continues to amaze me. I know that for when I do long rows of purling, it would maybe be better to hold my yarn in the front, but that's just, even with the extra wrist movements that I now have to do, it's still, it's so much slower for me to start learning something new, but I know it would help with potential wrist pain. So let me know, do you knit this way? And if you do, give it a try. Let me know how it goes and how you like it. I know that knitters tend to stick to the style that they've started doing when they were learning, because it's so much a muscle memory that's just easiest for us, and we don't want to spend time exploring new ways to do something. And I think that's also a richness. There are pros and cons to every kind of knitting, and the main point, of course, is that we knit and do what we enjoy. I think it's just very fun and interesting to see these kind of geographical locations of where people knit differently and using a certain style, and how the end result is still similar, same actually, not similar, but same. The stitches do look the same, no matter which kind of knit and which kind of purl stitch you do. I hope this was interesting and enlightening, and if you enjoyed it, do give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more knitting content. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon again.